everybody, and welcome to Horror Movie Yearbook. I am Tim.
I'm Willie.
Willie, how's it going? We're doing all right.
Hey,
we've had a lot of fun stuff happening on this podcast recently. When's the last time we talked? Was it the In a Violent Nature episode, you and I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which you can find.
We've not been in this basement talking in a while.
No, we have not.
It's been a while. Yeah, no, things are good. Busy. The school year is officially over.
Yeah.
My daughter is a soon-to-be first grader, which is insane.
Oh my gosh!
Right? Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
first grader feels weirder than kindergartner, right?
Yeah, because kindergartner is still not like a grade.
Still a baby, right?
Yeah, it's not a grade. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say? We started
this. She wasn't born yet, right? No.
Did we? No. We used to record at your house.
Yeah, and then we moved here when she was born.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm struggling with this thing. Yeah. Okay.
We can always move back to your house if you need to, by the way.
No, it's fine. it's good now, honestly.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she is...
We went on hiatus, I think, around the time like we may have needed to do that, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy. We're busy. Summer's here. Here. Looking forward to it. Got some plans. My brother will be visiting, which is great.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'll be nice. My dad, I'm sure will be at some point further down, probably August. So that'll be nice. Taking a couple trips this summer.
I hope they're over here when I record, or if I'm over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them. I haven't seen them in
Yeah. We could always have Zach pop on for
Yeah, we should.
For something.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Or my dad. Who knows?
We do something video game related too with Zach. It might be kind of.
We
fun.
could. Yeah, we could definitely. He's a horror movie guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily like to our degree, I don't think. But yeah, he's a fan.
Maybe maybe we do like a horror video game movie, or
we could do something fun like that. Yeah,
we've
done Doom before. We've done Silent Hill, but the Silent Hill was lost. It was the lost episode, remember?
Oh my God, yes. And I kind of liked that episode. And then we half-assed tried to like redo it. Oh my gosh, that still bums me out. I liked the episode we did. That was during the pandemic, and everything was a pain in the ass.
It was a pain in the ass.
That's why we do things in person all the time now.
Yeah, the pandemic could have killed this show.
Yeah,
it could have. We were so frustrated with the remote recording after a while. Yeah, but we made it happen. Anyway, lots going on. You're busy too, always, right? I mean, you've got going
always,
on.
always.
You got weddings coming up.
I do. I got a big
multiple.
One. Yes, that's why I'm a little cleaned up today.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because I saw
you're looking relatively freshly shorn here.
This morning I went and got it, and then I also shaved, and like it was disgusting. Like I had hair like on the back, like it had gotten in the back, like all my beard hair and my hair like collected, and I couldn't shower at the time because I had stuff going on, and I had like itch. I was like itching for because I like to get a haircut and then shower immediately after.
Yeah, I'm pretty quick after. Within the next hour or so after I get my haircut, I have to shower.
Yeah, because then it sticks in your t-shirt and it's just,
and it gets in your ears and shit.
Yeah. So anyway, but I saw the two people that are getting married Tuesday night, and they didn't say anything. But you know how it is when you show up looking disheveled and unkempt as I did for quite a bit there. But you also know it's a little tough being a new parent, getting some of that stuff done.
I don't think either one of those people that are getting married are going to like.
They didn't say anything and they were cool, but I did tell them like this is getting taken care of.
I promise. Yes. I'm not going to look like this.
Yes,
That's fair.
I won't have the like the Hurley from Lost look going.
It's good to let them know. Yeah, you were getting kind of shaggy there.
I get. Yeah. I used to. It doesn't like. So it kind of used to fro out. Like I used to have a big. When I was in high school, it was like huge.
Yeah.
But now it kind of like I actually don't like it to get too long because it like gets this weird because it's thin up top a little bit. It like flattens. It looks ridiculous.
Gotcha. Sure.
But I wake up with like Hugh Jackman Wolverine hair a lot of the time too.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Not the body.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to wake up with that too.
Right.
Yeah. Old Hugh. I saw the Hot Toys is showing off the
Deadpool Hugh Jackman.
Man.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's got the mask. My goodness.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we're both busy, but we keep on trucking.
We're excited. We're kicking off our summer series.
Yeah. So yeah, we introduced it with our In a Violent Nature, post theater reaction, and now we are officially full bore. It feels like summer today to me because my kid's out of school.
It's warm.
And we are celebrating in the best way possible, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
By starting our what was our official backwoods horror?
I've still got because I've got Summer in the Woods. Let's
Yeah.
Because we're not limiting
camping
it.
and slashing. No.
Because are we limited to slashers? We'll figure it out. I think it's going to be mainly woods horror.
Woodsy horror.
Woodsy horror. Yeah. So
woodsy.
Maybe
Josie likes these toys called little woodsies.
Little woodsies. Okay.
Yes. So it's perfect. Woodsy horror. We should bring a couple out and just kind of assemble them.
And we're talking about The Burning tonight.
We are, yes, which we have technically talked about. This is not the first time we've doubled back and revisited something we've already talked about, but we've always done that. Oh, excuse me. I got the Coors Banquet burps. And the hiccups, apparently. We have gone back in the past and talked about movies we covered early in the show's run. For those that have been with us for a long time, you'll know, of course, that we started the show doing 3 movies per episode.
Yes.
Ambitious.
It was incredibly ambitious.
To say the least. And it was great, and I think it worked out really well. But eventually we kind of settled into a groove where we were doing kind of a single movie.
Yeah.
And there are a handful of movies from that time period that I think that we feel like we didn't give enough. I think we could give more.
Right.
To those movies. The Burning is one of them for me.
Yeah.
We'll see how you feel, obviously.
Yeah. And In a Violent Nature kind of inspired us because In a Violent Nature is very inspired by this type of movie today.
Yeah.
But Friday the 13th is the obvious inspiration for that movie, but I think you see there are a lot of fingerprints of The Burning in that movie as well.
Yeah, oftentimes I think movies that are of that ilk, I think Friday the 13th gets deservedly credited as kind of an inspiration, but oftentimes people forget about a lot of the other films that were absolutely inspirations, and The Burning is one that I think it's been I think appreciated more as it's gotten older and people have discovered it.
Yeah,
but I still don't think it's as appreciated as it should be in its own right. Anyway, we'll talk about it. But we have some feedback.
We do have some feedback.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, from all sorts of different, and this is going to be a way to plug all our socials as well.
Let's do it.
First of all, this was and I wanted to bring this up to you because I answered to it. It was on one of the YouTube videos I'm doing, just kind of previewing new horror movies out every week. I've been trying to do it every week, but I fall behind sometimes. Whatever. But it's a good way for me to keep up. It's a good way for try to help people keep up with what's coming out. And I think I previewed The Watchers, and this was Tom, the great Tom Zimney, who is also a member of our Discord. And he said, Appalachia sure gets a bad rap in Hollywood. It's quite beautiful, and mostly normal people live there. Well, have you ever been to Appalachia country? I have not.
I'm going to be there.
I was going to say, yeah, this is a good way to,
I think I'm a little bit outside of it, I think.
Yeah.
I'm on the coast. So
okay.
I'll be flying into Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
And then driving to Wilmington.
Yes.
So I'm kind of more right on the coast-ish. I think the Appalachian Territory is a little bit west of that.
I always think like West Virginia when I think of
yeah,
Appalachia.
But technically I think that counts.
Right.
Yeah, no, I've never really spent any time like
Me neither.
not in the woods. I don't think I want to. I like camping.
Yeah.
I do. As I get older, I like comfort camping a little bit more. To be honest
Are you
with
a glamper?
What's that?
It's like glamorous camping. The only reason I know this really is the other night my wife was watching one of the baking shows she watches,
nice.
and then it was like a summer baking, and he's like, I'm glamping today. The host was like, I'm going to be glamping.
Oh, my.
And he had like a TV, like a big screen TV set up of his campsite and like nice
no.
lights. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to it.
Right.
But no, I'll sleep in a tent.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get an air mattress. I'm not a psycho. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to sleep on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring some sort of like portable battery charger for my phone and stuff. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, so I know some people like to really rough it. I don't need that. I can just, enjoy.
So Appalachia, I did look this. So it's
let me hear it. Yeah.
Appalachia region is a federally defined region that includes all of West Virginia and parts of 12 other states: Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, Maryland, Mississippi, New York, I guess so. Yeah, the lower part of New York.
Yeah.
North Carolina, Ohio. Yeah, because I think like the southern part of Ohio would be Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. So there.
Yeah,
you go.
I know
That's
it was
it.
a pretty wide ranging. I mean, it's a mountain range.
Right. So I'm sure there are some bad people that live in all of those places. Yes,
I've been to most of those states.
Yeah.
And I've met some kind of crummy people.
Yeah.
And I've also met some wonderful people.
Wonderful people. Like anywhere you go. Yes.
Honestly, that's the way it is.
Hollywood can sometimes be a little bit stereotypical, or like they stereotypical.
Humanity can be stereotypical.
Yes. So thank you, Tom, there. We'll do a couple of feedback for our In a Violent Nature episode real quick. Opeth Mike on YouTube said, I love this movie so much. I just want to give a shout out. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And listening.
Thank you. Tim puts a lot of work into those, and we appreciate that.
And then Rock and Roll Toast, that'd be John, on Twitter.
Yes,
said, biggest question I have, since it was such a late showing, our Sunday night 10 p.m. showing, did either of you fall asleep during the movie? I did not. I just
nope.
Yeah, we did not. We were
no. I didn't even. I was in no danger at any point of falling asleep, which was I honestly was nervous about that.
Yeah.
Like I have.
Me too. Yeah.
I've never fallen asleep in a theater. I think that's when you become full dad, when you fall asleep in the theater.
But even that will be like, I can see that being during like a movie the kid's into, like the kid, like you go see a kid's movie.
Children's yes.
Not one that I'm like interested in going to see.
There were movies I went to with my dad where I'm like, I could have gotten up and walked out. I could have taken his car keys, stolen them out of his pocket, gotten up, driven somewhere, and then come back in time. Yeah, that's how out he was. But you know what? I kind of get it. You know.
And the last one I want to mention too is Jason on our Discord, and I'm not going to read all of this because it is spoilery, and I want to steer clear of spoilers. But he really liked In a Violent Nature. Jason has been a listener for a long time, great guy. And he also, I wanted to highlight this because I think you and I have changed a little bit, and I will try to steer clear of spoilers. But he says, I was just on the movie's wavelength the whole time. Even the stuff towards the end that y'all seemed sort of miffed about on the podcast, I thought was great. And I do think we've both kind of changed our tune a little bit there too. Yeah, and we talked a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about this more on the Tiny Terror. But
yes.
But yes, so I think we did come across, but that was our instant reaction too. That was like fresh out of the theater, and we've had time to ruminate. I think both of us like the ending a little more than we did at the beginning.
I still think it goes on longer than necessary to get its point across. I'll say that, but I do appreciate it a lot more now.
Yes,
In a Violent Nature is a movie I'm going to rewatch, and I did not like even if I thought I was going to enjoy it going into it, I just based on what I'd heard about it and kind of what I knew of the the film itself and like the stylistic approach they were taking, I did not think it would be a rewatchable movie. I would rewatch it.
Yeah.
Like for sure. Which is, I think, that for me, that's big praise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last two comments I want to mention here, this was on our Mike Flanagan episode where we talked a little about him about taking over The Exorcist. We talked a little bit about who's to blame for the trilogy phenomenon coming into effect in like the 90s and 2000s. Mm-hmm. Steve chimed in,
okay,
and said, "I blame Jurassic Park 3." I don't blame Jurassic Park 3 for anything.
Jurassic Park 3 rules.
Yes. It's not my second favorite though. Is not that though. It's Fallen Kingdom. Is it Fallen Kingdom? The sequel. I love Fallen Kingdom.
Hold on. So there's Jurassic Park 1. Lost World 3.
Yes.
What's the Jurassic World?
Then there's Fallen Kingdom,
which is the weird horror movie one.
Yes. That's now my second.
Sweet.
That's my second favorite Jurassic
Park. I never
Park
saw
movie.
the other one, the last one. I heard it's mostly about locusts.
Yeah, a lot of locusts. I don't like. Some people really hated it, and I actually don't. I don't think I minded it. It wasn't any good. I don't remember a lot.
Yeah. Do they do anything with like the legacy?
No, not really. No.
Okay.
I watched this and it completely escaped my mind.
Okay.
And then
you like Fallen Kingdom better than 3?
I do. 3's my third favorite.
Rewatch.
3 was my second favorite. I think 3's like 80 minutes and it's a big monster movie.
It rules.
It's just so sweet.
It's just a Skull Island movie is all it is. It's sweet.
And then Easy Strider said, Easy Strider 77 said, this is the best possible scenario to happen with this franchise, and Blumhouse wiped the slate clean, bringing in an absolute stud of a creative talent, and bam, the $400 million mistake financially looks like less like a dumpster, an old dumpster, and more like a nice stainless steel trash can from Target. So
I like that. I like a good stainless steel trash can from Target. That's nice. I do hope. I agree creatively. I don't know that that's going to translate into box office. I would go as far as to say it is not going to.
Yeah.
I love Flanagan. He's certainly become a name. My only concern is Flanagan's big budget move, like bigger budget studio horror film, did not do well at all.
Is that Dr. Sleep?
Yeah,
yeah,
did not do. So I don't, and that was like.
I guess the hope is maybe he's built up enough of a name with those Netflix shows that might translate a little.
I hope.
Yeah.
I'm not wishing ill on anybody involved. I'm looking forward to this very much. So I don't know if they're going to recoup that.
That's a ton, and because you still have advertising costs on top of it.
It's a tall order, but we'll see. Yeah.
So everybody, thank you very much. You can check us out on all different forms of social media, YouTube too. Thank you. Keep the comments coming. They're a lot of fun to read and a lot of fun to talk about.
Yes, they are.
And check out the Game Nerds. They talked about AI fails, Google AI fails on their last side quest episode, and music recommendations. These guys have excellent taste in music.
They cover it all.
Yeah,
they're like the jack of all trades when it comes to the
they are. Oh,
Midwest
great
podcast
jack of all trades. Great Bruce Campbell show.
Ah, yes. Wait, was that? Oh, yeah.
There was I think it was a Raimi produced show in like the 90s.
Yep.
Anyway,
Xena type. Yeah.
Yeah, like the action hour.
That's right.
Oh, I got a Lexus ad. All right, Willie, do you want to jump in this old time machine?
Mm-hmm.
You got a song? You got a time machine noise for us? I always put you on the spot here.
Oh man.
A little Rick Wakeman-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little keyboard.
That was a goal. I'm glad you recognized that. Yeah. I love this score. We're going to start right there. I love the score.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll talk more about it. I love the
score. Let's talk about what we're listening to, what we're jamming out to in the woods on May 8th, 1981, when this bad boy came out. Only a week, I think, before or after Friday the 13th Part 2.
That's insane.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
So, number 10, I Can't Stand It by Eric Clapton and his band. Man, is Eric Clapton still alive?
Yes.
What an egomaniac, though.
Yes.
To call it his band is something, right?
It's a lot. I do not know the song.
I can't stand it. You're fooling around. I can't stand it.
Oh, yeah. Don't like it. Yep.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Clapton guy.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
But Tears in Heaven is great.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
It is very sad.
It's a real bummer.
Yeah. Number 9, Sukiyaki by A Taste of Honey. So I know this song. This is the one that goes, "It's all because of you. I'm feeling sad and blue."
Mm-hmm.
So that was originally like done by, I think it's a Japanese song.
That's right.
And then it got remade in the 90s too, and I was a huge fan of it in the 90s. So.
Yeah, it's not bad.
This was A Taste of Honey that did this, couple of ladies there. Number 8, I don't know this one. Living Inside by Myself by Gino Vanelli.
I know Gino Vanelli, but I know.
Oh, you do know Gino? I'm not.
I know the name. Yeah. I do not know that song. Yeah, Gino Vanelli was. God, how do I know that name? I don't know.
He kind of looks like Michael Shannon in this photo. Well, hopefully someday Michael Shannon gets to play him in a biopic.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Very intense one. Number 7, we'll know this one. Take It on the Run by REO Speedwagon. That is a good. That's a good camping song. That's like a good listening party in the woods song, I think. Take it on the run.
It is. I love REO Speedwagon.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Have you ever seen them live?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I would like to, I think. Here's the problem with bands of that era, though, now, is that, like, having seen one recently, there's, like, maybe one original.
Right.
Member. They're basically cover bands at this point.
I don't want to see Queen with Adam Lambert.
No.
I have no interest in that.
No, I saw Foreigner, and there were no original members. So I'm like, it's not Foreigner, then.
That is like...
So it's not Foreigner.
Or are they even calling themselves that?
I don't know. Because whoever owns the rights to the name was like, you guys are the new Foreigner. It was weird.
I
mean, they were good, but I was
think it's like a Captain Phillips situation where they're like, I'm Foreigner now.
Yes, I'm the Foreigner now. I'm like, this is not... I mean, like, it was fine, but I'm like, is it, though? Yeah.
Number 6, Daryl Hall and John Oates, who are feuding now. They're suing each other, right?
They've been through it before. Yeah, they tend to...
They have their battles.
Yes, they do.
Kiss is on my list. is number 6.
Good song.
Yeah.
Not my favorite Hall and Oates. I like Hall and Oates a lot.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, but
What's your favorite?
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Maneater, I think.
Okay.
I think.
Watch out. Yeah.
Watch out. Yeah. I think it's Maneater.
Number 5, a song that has horror ties,
Okay.
and a song that I love, Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes.
This is what's fun. Oh my gosh. I just did we did a bath time last night. JoJo needed a little bath, and she goes, "Let's put some music on."
Yeah.
So I put on one of the random like Spotify playlists that I have that I just add songs to as I hear them, and this popped on, and I was like, "Josie," she was bopping in the bath, and I was like, "This is one of my favorite songs of all time." And she goes, "Oh, it's one of my top 10," and she was into it, man. She was grooving. So I can't say enough. Love this song.
Used very well in The Final Girls. Is that a woodsy horror movie? The Final Girls?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
We may need to consider.
I don't think we've covered that on this podcast.
And I have not watched it in. I think we might know what we're doing soon.
I think so too. Number 4, Angel of the Morning by Juice Newton. I feel like this was in a horror movie as well, but
yes,
I can't remember what one.
I like the song. It has been used in so many movies throughout history. Didn't Deadpool? Wasn't this? Like
I feel like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Angel of the Morning, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And then so I like that song. Number 3, Being With You by Smokey Robinson. I don't know that one. Smokey is he's wild now. Have you seen Smokey lately?
Yes. Getting down.
Didn't he have a weird ass song too, Smokey Robinson? Like recently, wasn't it kind of like pornographic? If I remember, it wasn't like Brian McKnight's pornographic song.
Oh my goodness! Well, Brian McKnight.
I could be wrong. I don't want to besmirch the good name of Smokey Robinson here, but I thought he did.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll just drop it then.
You could be totally right.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. 100%.
Number 2, Just the Two of Us by Grover Washington Jr. and with Bill Withers. So this was remade by Will Smith with Jaden.
Indeed,
in the video.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good song. Yeah.
You like the Will Smith version better?
No.
What's your favorite Will Smith song? Nightmare on My Street?
No.
Okay.
I think it's Wild Wild West.
Well, this is with Cisco, right?
Yep.
That is honestly, that's a really good song.
It is.
Yeah.
Men in Black's good, but Men in Black does not age as well as Wild Wild West, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because I could put on Wild Wild West right now and be like, all right.
And Men in Black is the infinitely better movie. Men in Black, the ride at there's a ride at Universal Studios, Florida, Men in Black.
Is there?
And there's a gift shop, and they play that song on a loop. They play Men in Black on a loop.
It's a lot.
The poor people that have to work like a 5 to 6 hour shift. Have to just hear. Oh my god! I feel. So
I actually don't like that song anymore. It was so overplayed.
It was so overplayed. Yeah.
Wild Wild West died a quick death in the theater.
Yes,
and so the song did too.
Right.
And I kind of like that one. I mean, I like getting jiggy with it.
Yeah. You like Miami?
Yeah, I do.
I kind of like
Party
Miami.
in the city where the heat is on.
Miami might be my favorite.
Ooh, that might be my favorite actually. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the number 1 song in America, Morning Train, 9 to 5 by Sheena Easton. My baby takes the morning train.
Probably in a horror movie too. Yeah, I like the song too.
You know who may have taken the morning train because he's in New York City for a little bit? Cropsy.
Oh, Cropsy.
The star of...
truly the star, yes.
The star of The Burning, which we are talking about now. Directed by Tony Malum, and we'll talk a little bit more about him later.
We've talked about one of his movies before.
We have, yes.
And not this movie.
Yes, we talked about Split Second.
That's right.
At summer camp, some teenagers pull a prank on the camp's caretaker, Cropsy, but the joke goes terribly wrong, and the teens leave Cropsy for dead after setting him on fire, but no one keeps Cropsy down. Sorry, this is the Google. This is good, yeah. But this may have been done by...
No one keeps Cropsy down.
May have been done by AI, but good job, AI. A few years later, the burned and disfigured caretaker returns to camp equipped with his trusty shears, ready to unleash his particular brand of vengeance on a whole new group of teens. Yes, a lot of them, and a lot of them aren't teens. Jason Alexander is in his 20s in this movie. But
do we start here?
Okay, so that's the plot. Yeah, where do you want to start
with this teen thing?
Where do you want to start with this movie?
I just want to riff.
Yes.
Let me get soundtrack out of the way because I wanted to talk about it already, and I kind of cut us off here.
Yeah, for sure.
The soundtrack the score for this movie, as far as I'm concerned, elevates the movie beyond what it is. There are plenty of slasher films from the 1980s. There are plenty of slasher films from 1981. A lot.
This was that first slasher cycle post Halloween.
The first couple of years.
We are getting they are getting inundated. I believe this is around the time when Ebert and Siskel and Ebert were carrying on their crusade as well.
Yep.
And The Burning may have played a major role in that because there really are no redeeming qualities to this movie.
No, God no. But the thing that sets The Burning for me apart from, say, The Prowler, or My Bloody Valentine, I like those movies well enough. Is that score? The score for this is like, it has no right being as good as it is. But when you hire Rick Wakeman
from Yes,
which is
Yes.
like one of the great synth heavy
like
rock
prog
bands.
rock bands.
Oh my god, just phenomenal band. And he kind of made the band in a lot of ways. When you hire Rick Wakeman to do your score, I guess this is what you get, and holy smokes, okay, like way to overachieve.
Yeah.
And
I think the big ones around that time. When I think of Halloween and Friday the 13th, you think of the scores. You think of the musical scores.
It's
for
such
those.
a big part of it because slashers are so by their design, so by the numbers. And they're so simple and so basic. So you need to do something. If you want to become a classic or stand out in any way, you have to do something different, right? It could be small. It could be small things. It could be big things. So like Halloween, the score and the cinematography for me and I think also the restraint. And part of that's just because it came before. I mean, Halloween 2 was not restrained. So like,
right.
It came before. Slashers became slashers. In the same way that Psycho came before slashers became slashers. The real prototype, in a lot of ways, was Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. That Sean Cunningham one. And what's funny is the score for that is another very memorable score. So, like you said, so it's. I think that's that and the effects are the two things I think for Friday that really stand out. And then of course that carries over onto this. Like you've got Savini coming back, doing another slasher movie. He did The Prowler as well.
Mm-hmm. He turned down Friday the 13th Part 2 to do this movie because he basically said, and there's an interview with him on YouTube too, to check it out. But like he's like, I thought it was dumb. I thought Jason coming back as the killer was stupid. So I said I'm going to go do something else. And he did this. Yeah.
Good for him. He would of course come back for
yes
for my favorite in the franchise, Part 4 of Friday. But anyway, so yeah, the score is such a big part of what makes this movie so memorable to me, and why it's got this movie, despite all of its warts, and there's a lot. Why this movie kind of like it's got this weird indelible mark in my horror. I don't know. It's not one of my favorite horror films of all time, but it is one of my favorite slashers. Yeah, it's still. Every time I watch it, I go, "Yeah, okay, I remember why." I think, to be fair, it's not just the score. I think the effects are by and large pretty damn great. And Savini, of course, this is like peak Savini.
Yeah. I would say we're a couple of years before his peak for me.
85. Day
84, 85 is when I think.
Day and Friday 4.
When is Creepshow? 86?
I can look it up.
Okay.
I'll look it up. But
we're going to talk a little bit more about Savini later. I've got a game I want to play with you. Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, this is just a special movie. I don't know why. I mean, I think a lot of people remember this movie for the bizarre 82 was Creepshow.
Wow, why am I way off on that? Okay.
The bizarre amount of like early appearances, like Jason Alexander, Holly Hunter, Fisher Stevens.
Yes.
They're all in this. The Weinsteins, of course, got their start with this movie. So there's a lot of like early Hollywood that's famous in horror, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
But
Tom
like
Hanks was.
there's a weird there's a weird amount of talent in this one. Like normally when you think of like Friday the 13th, it's just Kevin Bacon.
A one-off. Yeah.
Yes, this has okay. I want to close out Rick Wakeman real quick.
Please,
yes, because you're right. It's the keyboard stuff. The only other thing I want to say is I'm not a big prog rock guy, but Rick Wakeman with yes. What I know him from is there's a Dead Kennedy song called Short Songs. And they go, Rick Wakeman, eat your heart out, and that's how they start the song.
Hell
and
yeah.
then it just goes, I like short songs, and it's like 30 seconds long. So that's where I always knew Rick Wakeman from. So every time I see, I think of that Dead Kennedy song. Okay, so I want to talk about the talent. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because who do we got in this? Because it's not just in front of the camera. So we do have Jason Alexander. You mentioned.
Yep. Of course, he would go on to Seinfeld.
I think is probably. Fisher Stevens, who I always remember from Short Circuit. But what did Fisher Stevens?
Stevens wanted to become a documentary filmmaker.
Thank you. He won an award and stuff.
He won an Academy Award.
Yes,
for The Cove, which is a tough watch, but a really great documentary about dolphin hunting. I guess like not whaling because they're not whales, but you know what I mean. Like
right.
Very good stuff. And he was on Lost, which he had a cool bit on Lost.
Who is he on Lost?
He is during the season where they're on the freighter.
Okay.
Where the mercenaries are coming. He's on that for a bit. He not a major role, but like kind of a pivotal one. He's like time displaced.
Oh, he's in Super Mario Brothers as well.
Yes, definitely.
He's had a long and successful career. Holly Hunter's in this. I never see her. Who is she in this? Holly Hunter.
She has a line or two.
Okay.
She's not super featured though.
Okay.
But I like Holly Hunter a lot.
I do too. Holly Hunter is great. And then there's one woman who looks exactly like Yardley Smith, who does the voice for Lisa Simpson. She's like a younger girl in this, and every time I think, is that the voice? It's not.
The one who plays Tiger.
Yeah, yes. Is that Yardley Smith, the voice of Lisa Simpson from The Simpsons? It's not her.
That's funny.
But in addition to that, this is written and directed by Tony Malum, who we mentioned did Split Second. It's co-written by Harvey Weinstein. And I think when we get into the counselors, I think we're going to maybe psychoanalyze some of it to see that maybe, it makes sense why some of this was written by old Harv, one of Hollywood's greatest monsters himself.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate bit of this.
Right. But I mean, I think
it is what it is.
It's an important, there's another credited writer in Brad Gray. He went on to do animated work on Thundercats.
Yeah.
He wrote a bunch of Thundercats, and
was really cool. Yeah.
And he wrote a 90s Johnny Quest TV show that I loved. That was called, I think it was called The New Adventures of Johnny Quest. And I was
on Cartoon Network.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Yes.
Great show.
Yeah. Edited by Jack Shoulder. Jack Shoulder did Alone in the Dark, The Hidden, and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. And then cinematography, because you texted me.
Real quick, I want to say that the other thing beyond the score for me is I think the cinematography in this movie is really strong. Like
it's a good looking outdoorsy movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's some really cool use of the first person slasher perspective as we go further into the movie. Like I love the idea of rubbing Vaseline on the lens
for the POV. Yeah.
That blurred, like burned. But there's some really cool stuff specifically during the last 10 or so minutes during the chase scene. There's some really cool camera angles that they choose. They shoot Brian Backer. We didn't mention Brian Backer from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh yeah,
is one of the leads really in this. They shoot his chase scene in some really cool ways where they get really weirdly close to him. They do some cool stuff with the camera.
Yeah,
towards the end. Yeah.
So this was done by Harvey Harrison, who would go on to work on V for Vendetta, Equilibrium, GoldenEye, and the 1998 Avengers movie. Remember the Sean Connery, Uma Thurman one?
Yeah, good-looking movie, though.
All of those are good-looking movies. Yeah. Like, GoldenEye's a great-looking movie, too. Yeah.
Movie, yeah.
So,
maybe one of the best shot Bond
movies? Yeah, I think it's a great-looking movie. And obviously, Equilibrium and V for Vendetta, I think, are strong as well.
Equilibrium holds up pretty well, mostly, I think. Yeah. Cinematography-wise, it does, for sure.
Yeah. So, it makes it... the collection of talent behind the scenes as well is, kind of crazy for a slasher movie, too. The only other one I can think of, as far as on screen though, that would go on like that had like 2 in one movie. I don't know. I don't do it, but like TCM2 or TCM Next Generation with McConaughey and Zellweger, like they would go on to be.
That's a 1-2 combo. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Then I wanted to look real quick. So Brian Becker, you mentioned. I want to look at some of these other people
Sure.
that maybe didn't go on to have. I want to give them their due too, because everybody talks about. So Brian Matthews is an actor in this movie. He played Todd. He would go on to be in. So he was a soap opera actor. He would be on Days of Our Lives, and Santa Barbara, the old soap opera Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
Do you have a favorite soap opera?
General Hospital.
My dad was a General Hospital guy. My mom liked Days when I was really young. I remember her watching Days.
I used to. That's awesome. My mom used to watch General Hospital. That's why.
Okay.
I would come home from school and I'd watch it with her.
Yeah.
I got really into it.
Do they still have soaps on? I haven't been. Yeah.
General Hospital's still on.
Is that,
Days of Our Lives is still on.
Days is on. They switched that over to Peacock though now.
Yes.
Because I heard someone complain about that the other day. So yeah.
But they're still on, still running.
Leah Ayres, who played Michelle, kind of the main female character in this movie. She was in Bloodsport. Remember her in Bloodsport, the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Is she the journalist?
I believe so. Yeah, Janice is her name. She would also go on to be in Married with Children. There's a lot of TV. Freddy's Nightmare. She was in Freddy's Nightmare.
Nice.
She was on this show called First and Ted, which is like one of the early HBO shows. It's about like a
I remember the show.
Football team. Yeah, and the director for this is called Peter Boners.
Oh my!
That might be a gag name. Larry Joshua, who played Glazer, the kind of iffy gentleman.
Basically, kind of rapey. Yeah.
He played the wrestling promoter in Spider-Man.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
Yes.
It's him.
Yeah, it is him. Yeah. He would go on to star, and he was also in Lost. But
hold on. We can't move on. Is he the one who goes, now he's going to get away with my money?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
My brain is burning right now. No pun intended. Continue. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
He's just been in a lot of stuff. So these people all went on to become working actors like up until a lot of these like main stars, not just the big ones like Jason Alexander, Fisher Stevens, go on to have pretty steady careers.
Pretty fruitful. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, I'm still like stunned.
I just wanted to mention a couple of the because whenever you talk about The Burning, you got to mention the big ones, but I wanted to talk about some of the other.
I'm glad you did. Glazer is the guy from the promoter. Oh my gosh.
Where do you want to go to next? You want to go to the counselors and the campers?
I don't know. Yes.
Can you after that revelation?
No, I don't know why that messed me up, but that's awesome to me. Anyway, yes. So here's the thing with these movies, and by these movies, I'm not talking about The Burning because it never received a franchise. It didn't make a lot of money, which is probably the reason.
Yeah.
I think we would have had The Burning.
And I would bet coming out around the same time, Friday Part 2.
That didn't help.
Yeah, that didn't help. Yeah.
They wanted the audience wanted like the name brand.
Yeah.
One. I cannot believe we've not had a Burning remake. There's been rumblings and talks. How has that not happened?
I don't know, because Cropsy had a moment too with that documentary in 2009.
I like that documentary.
It's a good documentary. I don't want to talk too much about that.
What is it called? Do you remember?
Oh, no, it's called Cropsy.
Cropsy,
the documentary.
Right. Yeah,
it's just called Cropsy. And it starts going into that. It's Staten Island,
Yep.
the urban legend that around Staten Island of Cropsy going around kidnapping kids or whatever. But then it goes into like what that real story is based on, and then how these like urban legends, how a lot of them become. And I don't want
watching, by the way.
I don't have a ton to say on Cropsy. I will point people to watch that movie because I think it gives a good background.
It has nothing to do with The Burning beyond the name.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even know if The Burning is mentioned in that documentary.
It's not. It is never mentioned. But
you're
name
right. Yeah.
Cropsy was taken from those urban legends of Cropsy that the documentary covers.
Yes.
So there is a tie there.
You're right. Like Cropsy had like a moment there, and I think people still kind of know the name. Like not everybody, but like it's Cropsy's still a thing. So yeah, I'm surprised.
Kind of weird.
Right. I'm surprised none of those got off the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. This could use a remake, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
although I think In a Violent Nature does share some pretty big elements of this. Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about the counselors and stuff.
Maybe we should just The guy who did In a Violent Nature just do The Burning.
The Burning remake.
I mean, it's too close. I don't know. I don't want to pigeonhole.
I want to see him do a sequel instead. I think
I'd like a sequel to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what. It's something different though. We talked about this.
Yeah,
I want something different, but I don't know what yet. Anyway, yeah. The problem with these movies, these summer camp slashers in particular, this film, the Sleepaway Camp franchise, especially the first, is like. Can you discern for me? These are active summer camps. The majority of the Friday the 13th movies, which are probably the most famous summer camp slasher, are not taking place during an active summer camp season. They're either not even like a summer camp at all, like a completely decommissioned thing.
Right.
Just like the ruins of a summer camp. Or it's like the counselors before the kids show up.
That's like a big thing is like counselors before the kids show up. And you know what? That's probably so they don't have to kill kids or cast kids because there are rules and regulations about having younger kids
at night and things like that.
Yes, you can, and you can also. I think you can get away with casting a 20-something to play an 18-year-old instead of something like a 16-year-old. You know what I mean? It's believable. It's a little bit more believable.
Yeah, even like Jason Alexander in this, I'm like, okay, he's a camp counselor. He's a little older, maybe. That's fine. Yeah, like he's 20. You know, like he's like kind of stuck, doing this thing, or he likes doing it enough. Whatever. He seems like a party guy.
Yeah.
He survives this movie, by the way. It's amazing. Anyway,
but isn't he? He's not. Is he a counselor in this movie? I thought he's a camper.
No, is he? Here's what I'm talking about.
The thing is, there are like 100. I will give this to The Burning. A lot of these movies feel like there is nobody at these campgrounds. There are like this is a well-populated camp, like summer camp.
100 extras like in this movie. It's insane. Like you just said, like Holly Hunter. Where is she?
Yeah.
She is there.
Yeah.
In these movies, I cannot tell you which people are the campers and which are the counselors. It's completely... But that's problematic.
Yeah.
Is Glazer a counselor?
I don't know. I feel like he is, though, right?
He's got to be, right?
Can I say something with Glazer and then because he makes out with the woman at the end and he's trying to he's being a creep. My big issue, well, there are many issues there, but like those two people look exactly alike. They are like it's like they're making out with each other, like the same, like
Glazer and the girl.
They have the same face. Yeah, they have the same face.
One has some maybe like nicer hair, yes, slightly more permed hair.
Like if you would have told me like they couldn't cast another person, they just put Glazer, the actor that plays Glazer, in like a wig. Like a bit longer wig, I would have been like, okay.
Maybe that's intentional.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's like Glazer is so self-absorbed.
Yes,
he can only be attracted.
He only attracted to a woman that looks
somebody who looks like him.
Yes.
In drag. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. I
think we thought much deeper about Glazer than anybody ever has because he's a shithead.
Yeah, he sucks. Yeah, when he no one's sad when he bites it.
It's very hard to keep track. And then by the end of the movie, I'm like completely lost because like the guy that comes in to stop Cropsy, like who the fuck is this guy?
He's a counselor.
So he's a counselor
for sure.
Did he have something to do with the beginning though?
Yeah, he's around the whole movie.
Okay.
The one who hits him with the axe?
Yeah, is that the same guy?
Yeah. He's around the whole time. Yeah. He's the one who gives the whole campfire story and stuff.
That's what I thought. Okay,
but it's the same guy. Yeah. And he's kind of like schmoozing with the other counselor girl, the one who the one who goes and gets like the rescue boat basically, like to go.
So one of the issues I guess for me with this movie, maybe keeping track of people,
you don't know who anybody is, which is fine.
I do have a problem. Like I do have a problem with, but yeah,
it's reasonable.
Any movie, sometimes I have a problem, and I don't think this is racist because it's for all race. But anytime you have too much of one race in a movie, like I'm completely lost. There's two. Sure. It's all white people in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. that goes. Yeah. Like if all the counselors are white, I have a problem.
I can't. Like, where's I need a different. Yeah.
And that would go for anybody.
Yes.
So here's the perfect example of this dilemma, this issue, though, is like, okay, I'm going to Alfred. Okay, our final boy, basically, right?
Yes.
Which I like. I like that we get a final boy.
Yeah.
That's fun. He's kind of creepy, a little bit.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes. Well, we talked about who wrote this.
Yeah. He's a bit of a peeping Tom. But we're supposed to sympathize with him because we don't want him to die, I guess, which we don't. I don't know. I mean, there's not really a lot of sympathetic stuff that happens with him beyond being just kind of a dork that gets picked on.
Yeah.
He also kind of deserves some of it.
Yeah. Yes.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brian Backer, the Alfred, is he a counselor or a camper?
We should
treat
have
him like a camper.
We should have come up with a game, counselor or camper.
Right.
Maybe next time we review the verdict,
Yes,
we'll play
again.
counselor or camper.
They treat him like a camper, right?
Yeah.
Like the guy who ends up saving his ass at the end, the one who you couldn't remember from the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Understandably. He's clearly a counselor. Like, he's a guy in charge. And
Yeah.
he does look older than most of the cast. Like, he seems like he would be a counselor, right? I
Yeah.
think we could fairly...
Well, wasn't he part of the group that messed with Cropsy?
But that was years before.
Right. That's that's what throws
So
me
he was a
off.
camper back then.
So he was a camper. So he has to have become a he's the counselor,
Yes.
and not the Ridley Scott version. Yeah. The
Correct.
McCarthy.
Yes. Yeah. Great film. Lots of violence in that too. That's the one with Brad Pitt getting the zip tie around his head, right?
And then Cameron Diaz doing the dance on the.
Yeah, her
car.
vagina's an octopus, right? Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, where are we going?
But like Alfred,
Yeah.
he's talked to by the guy we assume is the head counselor, like he's a camper, but also like Brian Becker doesn't seem that young, right? What's going on here? But then there's a couple like younger like female like actresses.
Yeah.
Where I go like they look like they could be like 16.
The Lisa Simpson, Yeardley
Tiger.
Smith. Yeah, she looks like a kid.
12.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's a camper.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But then like Jason Alexander's like palling around with her, and I'm like, well, is he a camper? Because he's 20.
No, Jason Alexander is a camper. In this
No,
movie.
he's not.
Yes,
There's
he's
no
a camper.
way, dude.
He and Fisher Stevens are campers in this movie.
Fisher Stevens is a counselor, right?
Who's on first?
All right. So wait a second though. Then who's the counselor that they send on the raft during the raft massacre?
I don't remember.
Who's in charge?
I
The other rapey guy?
think, yeah.
That's a counselor?
So, yeah. Well, yeah, but so that's the thing, though. Like, these counselors are not responsible people. And yes, you're
That's
right.
fine, yeah.
There are 3 creeps / rapey
Yes.
people, like men in this
Cropsy.
movie. Yes. Yeah.
Glazer.
Yeah, Glazer.
And then the other dude, Jimmy or whatever
yeah.
his name is. Yeah.
So, like, there are 3, like, very iffy individuals. And
I wonder why.
there is but like also, and this is a bit problematic when you know who wrote this movie if you're just kind of watching it, but like there's the one scene, is it the first scene where she shuts down the guy who is trying to like get it on,
Mm-hmm.
and then Cropsy does not kill the guy, he goes straight for
He kills her.
he
Yeah.
kills her.
Yes.
And so like she doesn't, like, it's the opposite of what happens in a lot of slasher movies. She doesn't have sex, and she gets punished for that.
For not giving it up. Yeah.
And if you
that's
know
true.
who wrote the movie, like, this is a huge sticky point, maybe. Maybe you can see how this, maybe you can
Okay.
take a look. And also,
Are you going to ruin the burning for me?
yeah, probably. No, but
You're right.
I think it. Yeah. Anyway, so
not
Burning is it's a problematic movie for the fact of because it's like this helped them get stuff off the ground too. The Weinsteins, it helped give birth to, well, like I mentioned, one of Hollywood's greatest monsters. Just
true.
So like it's already kind of problematic as it
true.
is. Yeah. So if you want to look deeper into it, anyway, I don't mean to ruin the
damn
Burning
it,
for
Tim.
you, Burning for you, but it is kind of interesting. But you know what? It's not like, so the thing is, here's how I won't ruin the Burning for you. I don't trust that Harvey Weinstein actually has a creative bone in his body. I think he probably weaseled his way into a writing credit on this by just like saying like, I think this probably came from somebody else.
Yeah.
You can just say like, oh, it was written by the other guy. It's a little bit iffy, but
Who's
let's
the
not.
other Weinstein?
Bob.
Is he a scumbag too?
Not well, yeah, I'm sure, but like not like Harvey. Like I don't
Not
think
to
he's
that degree.
But like
that we're aware of.
I was saying you could pin it on. There are 3 writers on this movie. You can pin that stuff on one of the other writers if you want to.
We'll do that.
Because like I said, you can just basically write it up because as we know from Harvey Weinstein's output, after he does not care about creative Like in fact, he likes to step on a lot of it. Yeah, he likes to hamper a lot of creativity.
I did hear, however, though, I saw when I was doing some research on the movie, like I saw there was an interview with one of the actresses who had basically come out and said, like, yeah, he was like that back then too. Like, this is nothing. Like I was on his first movie, and he was a creep back then.
He only ended up
just got away with a lot more because he got more powerful. Basically, later on.
Yeah, he got very powerful, and he only ended up writing like one more movie. Yeah, and it was early on. Yeah, it was like '86. He wrote some trash movie
because they didn't blow up until the '90s.
Yeah, Miramax. It would have been the '90s. It would have been with I think probably some of the Tarantino stuff.
Tarantino and then Scream.
Yeah. Yes. So
yeah,
remember there's a bit in Scream 3 where. What's the bit I'm thinking of?
The Lance Henriksen character. Yeah, he's got like a room where he.
I thought Carrie Fisher has a line in that too.
Yes.
Yeah,
that is interesting
like
to
read
how
into.
Producers are all kind of scummy.
Mm-hmm. And I can see Wes working something like that in.
Yeah, well, he knew.
Yeah.
Probably not all the details.
It's not fair to say he knew but yeah.
He probably knew he was kind of lecherous, at least.
Well, then there's the Peter Jackson story of him putting the Weinstein credit over the two monsters in the beginning of one of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Well, people didn't like working with them.
Yep.
Creatives didn't like working with them.
Yes.
If you're a director for hire, I think you probably didn't have much of an issue.
People did it because, especially independent filmmakers at the time, because they had so much power and because they were so...
There was clout.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Miramax was a big deal. They were, I don't want to hand wave them. They were a huge deal in the 90s when it came to, especially independent films. So,
yeah, and there are a lot of great movies that came out of Miramax.
Yeah.
But you got to remember where the guys in charge were scumbags.
Yeah. And in
the highest order.
Yeah, we'll get back to the burning now, I guess, but I just want it is important to say because this movie helped set them on that track.
Sure.
Yeah, in a lot of ways because it got their foot in the door, it got them started. So
sure. Back to the burning.
Yeah. Who's a camper and who's a counselor? No.
Didn't I have the bad day? What the hell, Tim? I just wanted to talk about the burning, Tim. No. The kills. You mentioned before we get into that, like Savini is obviously on the rise at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He had done Dawn in '78.
Yes.
He had was coming off of Friday.
Yes.
And then now we had The Burning. And we're seeing a lot of... I don't think this is even close to Savini's best work by any means.
Yeah.
I think he said he felt rushed on this production, probably by the aforementioned producers.
Yes.
He was never happy with the Cropsy makeup. I think it looks pretty good.
I think the Cropsy makeup looks good.
I think
he's a perfectionist. I mean, like a lot of artists. I mean...
But a lot of the kills in this movie, funny enough, are basically just kind of like quicker, faster carbon copies of, like, there's a throat stab.
Yes.
We saw that in, there's throat slices and stuff like that. We saw those in Friday the 13th, honestly. The big standout for this one is, of course, the Raft Massacre.
And that's kind of what this is known for, a lot of it. Or that's kind of the big memorable
It's how
sequence.
I heard about it the first time. Yeah, I think probably most people, like early internet, where you're like, oh, you got to see the burning for the rat. And you're like,
yeah, this was a movie I came in later to as well. Yes,
same for me.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of forgotten. Because it disappeared. If your local video store didn't have it, you didn't know about it.
Yep.
This is not like a John Carpenter movie or a George Romero movie where like there was buzz beyond the internet where you could discover stuff like this. This was Tony Malin. It wasn't like it was like a major.
The director of Split Second.
I like Split Second.
Me too. Yeah.
No knock on Tony Malin, but
right.
Not a household name in the genre. And yeah, so I discovered this one later, but it was through the Raft Massacre. You got to see this movie with the Raft Massacre, and by and large, it lives up to that.
Yes,
because it's Savini doing Savini practical effects. One after another. Like, most of these slasher movies, especially back then, it was it was stalk and slash, I think people call it. It's like, character wanders off and the killer stalks them. You get a kill scene and then you reset and get ready for the next one. With the Raft thing, it was like 5 people that like Cropsy goes nuts.
Yes.
He doesn't play around. He's thirsty for the murder. I don't know.
This is so. in a lot of ways, I texted you this too. This is a quintessential slasher in a lot of ways for me, but a lot of it has to do with like we said, the setting, the camp counselors, Cropsy, and the kind of like the backstory,
the dark story,
yeah,
the revenge,
sitting around the campfire,
scenes of the past,
talking. Where I think it differs is there aren't a lot of kills in the first like 30 or 40 minutes of this movie. I can't remember. There's a kill in the beginning. In New York City.
So gross.
Yeah, you know what? That is, I think, the underrated kill from this movie, the prostitute kill.
It's nasty.
Because it is so fucking brutal to me. Like, it is just, and it's uncomfortable. Yeah.
That's right. That's
yeah.
one of those, like, I
actually thought, like, that, I was taken aback by that kill because I forgot about it.
I always feel kind of like I want to barf a little bit after that one, right?
It's really seedy. It's gross.
Yeah, it feels sleazy.
Yeah.
It feels very like Fulci slasher, like New York Ripper,
or like Maniac. Yeah, it's like
like I don't know if I want to be watching it. Yeah, for sure. The rest of the movie feels pretty joyous in its slaughtering.
Yes, I was gonna say because even the raft stuff is a lot of fun. So, but then like it's kind of in a lull, and it's not it's not your typical slasher where you have a kill every 7 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it explodes into the raft kill all at once. And I kind of dig that about the movie too because. Yeah. It is a quintessential slasher, and the pacing's just all over the place.
Yeah, oh yeah,
it's not. Nuts. It's like it's like super boring at times. You know what? What In a Violent Nature captures is like what I think straight out of The Burning is like those POV shots of Cropsy. There are like shots of him just kind of like wandering around, and like he ends up doing nothing.
Oh yeah, he's staring.
Just kind of staring. In a Violent Nature captures that perfectly without giving away too much. Like it captures like the idea of like what the hell is this guy doing the whole time, and he's just being kind of weird.
There's not a ton of that in Friday. There's some in the early Friday the 13th, like the first one or two, and then it kind of like generally the POV stuff kind of disappears.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's
So I think Savini. And the first time I saw the raft sequence, I went, "Whoa, this is really cool!" Like, and I still like it a lot. I do think that I think the finger slicing,
the Fisher Stevens,
Fisher, and I think it looks. I don't think it's a good effect.
It's not great. Yeah,
I think it looks too waxy. I think it looks.
The hand looks fake.
It looks disconnected from the rest of it. I don't think it's Savini's best work.
And I wonder how much of that is like if you were watching this in the theater or on like a VHS tape, it probably looked better.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So like that's even what's crazy is those Scream Factory Friday Blu-rays.
Yeah.
They actually hurt a couple of the early effects.
I think even the bacon one, I think looks.
It looks weird.
You can see like the
fake.
Makeup. Yeah.
Which like dude on VHS, I was like, holy, like how?
Mm-hmm.
Now I go, all right, it's like clearly it's like a fake neck.
Yeah.
Like, so
and I don't think that's true of. Are you ready to talk about Savini?
Yeah.
I want to talk about.
Sure.
So here's what I wanted to do. I figured this is a way we can talk about some of Savini's greatest like gags, some of his greatest effects, some of his greatest kills, some of his greatest like moments in horror. So what I did is I pulled a. What I want to do for you, we like to play
games radar.
We like to play games here, much like Jigsaw.
Yes.
So I pulled a list of his top 10. This is like from it's like a games radar site. Savini's top 10 greatest like gags, I think is how they referred to it. And I'm going to go through them, and I am going to ask you whether you think they are more memorable or you like them more than the raft sequence in The Burning.
Okay. Is it real quick? Do you want to do final thoughts on The Burning after?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm going to start with. I'm just going to go randomly here. And see if you remember the bayonet to the head in the Prowler.
Good one. Raft sequence is better.
I think I like the raft sequence better than that, too. How about the shoulder bite in Dawn of the Dead? You remember the shoulder bite?
In the apartment. Very good. The raft sequence is still better. The shoulder bite looks a little wonky. The meat. The tear is not where it's at. So it sounds horrible. I'm watching a lot of Walking Dead, so I know all about
for sure,
biting and tearing. There's a pull and a snap to the flesh that is missing in the Dawn bites. They still look cool. That comes later. That's something that he masters later.
I think we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
So still raft for me. Yeah.
How about this one they had on there? How about speaking of rafts? How about the raft sequence in Creepshow? Well, the whole thing is
Creepshow 2.
Creepshow 2. Yeah. The whole thing is a raft sequence, but I'm thinking the one where the swimmers pulled through the boards, I think is.
Oh, when she gets yanked into the water by the...
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good. You know what's funny is I still think that... Oh, man. That's a tough one. They're very different tonally. The raft massacre and the burning is kind of like just this crazy bloodbath where you're kind of like, whoa!
Yeah.
The raft sequence in The Raft from Creepshow 2 is like kind of nasty and mean and like horrifying to watch. Like,
right.
It works. As far as from a pure effects standpoint, this is close. I'm going to go with the burning still overall.
Okay.
It's close though.
This one is more of...
It's hard.
This next one is more of a... I'm going to stick in the Creepshow universe. This one's more of a moment than... How about the cake scene? I'm talking about when the cake scene in Creepshow with the head.
He presents the head.
Do you have fonder memories? Do you think it's more memorable? Do you like it more than the raft sequence?
Yeah, I mean the cake scene is one of the greats. Yeah.
You would put that up as one of Savini's greatest.
Yeah. See, that's tricky too though, because it's like I always I don't know. I compare the raft thing to like Kills.
Okay.
Whereas the cake sequence is more of like you said, like a gag, like it's like a fun effect. So yeah, I'll go cake though.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite like horror stories ever. Is Father's Day. Like,
yeah.
That's the best. Yeah.
Is that your favorite?
In Creepshow?
Yeah.
No, but it's. I mean,
What's your favorite?
The Crate.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the Crate the best. When I think of Creepshow, I think of the Crate. But I like every story in that movie.
Yeah.
I actually think the cockroach one is my least favorite.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen
I
Creepshow.
actually like Jordy Verrill better than...
I think the last time I watched Creepshow, we did it on the podcast here. It's been a long time.
I like every story in that. Yeah.
I like Jordy Verrill a lot.
I like Jordy Verrill a lot.
Yeah. And a lot of it's for King's performance.
It's great.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Super campy.
We talked... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We talked a little bit about this one already, but how about the arrow in the neck from Friday the 13th?
Better than the burning raft.
You think the arrow in the neck is better than the burning?
Yeah, and so I'm not gonna. I just mentioned like it doesn't look great but these effects were not built for 4K. So I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like
no, for sure.
That arrow I remember it was a combination of it being Kevin Bacon and also it being the first slasher film beyond Halloween I'd ever seen. Halloween is very subdued. Like there's not a lot of blood, if any, really. Very little. And I saw that and I was like, "Oh my god." I couldn't I just like it's indelible in my brain as a kid. Like I could not understand how they made that happen. Like I knew Kevin Bacon was alive because I'd seen Tremors, so clearly he went on to live. But no, that blew my mind. Yeah,
and I do think in some ways that kill is kind of a mission statement for a lot of those slashers after, because it becomes like a how do we top this? Like how do we kill? Like how do we come up with a kill that looks that will stand out and be memorable? Like that kill
it's
is memorable.
So good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Two more here, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, these are my two favorite Savini's.
Okay.
Savini's.
All right.
The first one is The Death of Rhodes and Day of the Dead.
Yeah, that's
better, right?
That's better.
I think that's. Do you think that's the best effect in any of the Dead films? I'm saying yes. I think that moment is absolutely incredible. The
As
effects,
a whole moment, yes.
Like you mentioned, very snappy.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yes. There might be single moments in Day that are technically better effects.
Uh-huh.
But it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite moments, period, horror ever. So, yes.
And this is my favorite Tom Savini gag coming up.
All right.
And it's one of my favorite moments in horror. It's the Jason machete in the face in the final chapter. And it's the slide down that I think is one of the coolest things ever put on the screen.
The eye is looking. It's still moving around trying to find where Feldman is as the head is sliding down.
It's incredible.
Yeah, that's better than the raft thing. Yeah,
okay.
For sure. Raft is like lower mid tier for me for Savini.
Okay.
Yeah. There's better stuff in Dawn than the neck bite that they mentioned, for sure. Some of the gut ripping at the end of Dawn.
You're right. Yeah.
Like, insane.
Yeah. Are there any other that weren't mentioned on this list that you can think of?
Yeah. The Crispin Glover kill.
Okay.
In 4.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's so good. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's just a reverse. It's just they pulled it out and then played it. But, like, it looks so good. And it's so brief. I love that one. Fluffy killing Adrienne Barbeau is really good.
Yes.
God, he was a master.
Yeah.
He's still alive, but like he doesn't do the
sex machine from.
Yeah, the cock gun with the balls.
Do we credit him with that? He has to. Was that him or
that, I'm sure.
was that him or Nicotero? Nicotero work on From Dusk Till Dawn.
On that. Yeah.
Well, he's great too.
They collaborate.
Yeah, they're yeah.
The Nicotero. No. The scene where Nicotero gets killed in Day, because Nicotero's in Day as an actor. I don't know if you remember that. He's one of the troops guys, like the military guys. He gets shot, but right before, there's a guy that gets bit in the neck, and it's not Savini's most outlandish thing. It's not his most it's not even like a full on kill because the guy gets shot after, but there's a zombie bite to that guy's neck that's like the gnarliest thing I've ever seen. Like whoever mixed the fake skin that day, like crushed it because it like pulls and it's in the teeth of the actor and it like snaps off. And then as soon as it snaps, there's this like amazing, just like,
yeah,
it's so good. The arm chop in Day is really good too.
Yeah.
When they take the guy's arm off when he gets bit, Miguel's arm because it's the swap out from the, hearing Savini talk about it is the best. Like the swap from the fake arm to the real arm to like cutting to the guy actor. Like it's genius. Like the whole thing, and it's flawless. Like,
he's a genius. He's an artist. He's incredible.
and I want to mention, I keep harping on Day, but Bub.
Yeah.
Like as an effect, as a creation, Bub is like it's a fully realized character. That zombie, like you feel sympathy for him, and like you actually like.
I don't think he's ever been, because we've seen a lot of those type of zombies since then. I don't think Bub has ever been top for me when it comes to that.
They've tried it many times for sure. Big Daddy,
I was gonna say he tried it many times. He's tried it with Big Daddy, yeah.
Bub was, like there's something about that character, and like it's not just Savini, but like the makeup worked wonders for that for sure. Yeah.
I forgot to mention the shotgun in the face to him himself
in
Maniac.
Or the Prowler. There's a nice head explosion. Or Dawn. Yeah. He likes to blow up heads with shotguns. I think Savini just likes to shoot guns at fake heads.
There is an excellent documentary, and I don't remember. It just was released a couple years ago on Savini, and it kind of goes into the fact that he was in Vietnam.
Yes.
He was in Vietnam, and how that kind of colored his effects work in the future and what he saw over there. And yeah, it makes you. It's a very good documentary. It goes into a lot of his personal life too, and I thought it was. I don't remember the exact title, but I'm sure if you type in Tom Savini documentary, you can find it somewhere.
I like that one of his favorite fillings for those exploding heads was cocktail shrimp.
Yeah,
because they looked really good on camera. It's just brains. So good.
Very cool. I figured this is a good time to talk about it. I don't think we've talked a ton about him. I'm sure we have at moments, but not like a whole segment devoted to him.
He's Tom Savini.
Yep.
I've met him a couple times.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Final thoughts on The Burning?
I think The Burning is a very fun... If I mentioned this to you, if somebody walked up to me tomorrow and went, hey, what is... the slasher movie? What is the quintessential slasher movie? I would honestly go watch The Burning. That is. I'm not saying it's the best. It's not. I'm not saying it's like the all-timer but if you want the prototype for everything the slasher genre started as, it's The Burning. It captures. It's got the summer camp thing. It's got the effects. It's got. It's the total package of what the slasher genre is.
When I think of I'm with you. When I think of summer camp slashers, this and like Sleepaway Camp are what come to mind a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's not so much the Friday the 13th movies because I'm with you. Like half the time, like the camp is not even in session. So
I mean that series went zany.
Yes, Friday the 13th is a whole separate beast for me.
Yeah, I mean he was on cruise ships in New York, and then he was in space, and then he was like fighting he was a demon,
body jumping, and
yeah. I mean like that series went so far beyond just being a summer camp.
Fighting
the first
Carrie,
couple, they're summer camp.
Well, even the ones at Halfway House, right? Or 5 is like a
3 and 4. There was no summer camp.
Right.
Even the first 2, yes, but 3, 4, 5, 6, there was a summer camp.
And you know what? 6 uses the summer camp to its advantage.
Well.
Yes, because the kids feel like they're in actual danger.
Yes.
So.
7, no summer camp. 8, no summer camp. 9, beyond that, there's no. I think the remake there's no summer camp. They go to a summer camp that was shut down.
Right.
So kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's like by and large not a summer camp
no.
series.
So the Burning, to me, I'm with you,
yes,
is a summer camp movie.
I'm glad we watched it. I'm glad we expanded upon our thoughts on it that we had way back when we started the show. What is next?
You know what? I kind of want to do the Final Girls next, if you're cool with that.
I agree.
I want to do something a little fun. And you know what? We talked a little bit about Leslie Vernon after In a Violent Nature. I think we could probably find some elements of the Final Girls in A Violent Nature as well. I think because there are some spoofier things in A Violent Nature.
Surprisingly spoofy things. Yeah. I'm excited to revisit this one. I remember. I hope it holds up for me. I remember loving this movie.
Me too.
It got a lot of hate for not being gory and nasty enough, and I'm like, that kind of wasn't the point.
That's not what the movie is. This is like one of the few. Like my wife, I remember my wife crying during this movie.
I think I teared up.
Yeah, I think I do
yeah.
too. So I don't know if that's gonna happen again.
We'll see.
It hit me, but it hit me. Yeah.
It was very effective. So yeah, I'm excited to rewatch this one. Very
cool.
Let's do it.
All right, take care, everybody.